We will build offices, terminals there. Can one man achieve this alone? No. Can you alone achieve this? No. You can see the power of collaboration. With that power of collaboration, we can achieve this. It was that same power of collaboration that enabled us to own the website. That same power of collaboration enabled us to build the shareholders app. The same power of collaboration enabled us to rent the head office here in Port Harcourt. The same power of collaboration enabled us to register this business both in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom. Something that people said is impossible. The same power of collaboration has helped us acquire our own property. Over 1 billion, close to 1 billion naira in Port Harcourt. Today, as we speak, let us come together. Let us collaborate. Let us build this thing together. This is not something one man can build alone. Where does the CEO have the money to purchase all of this? So if we come together and build this, now that it's still at the vision phase, it's amazing. It's something you and I will benefit from. So we are coming to own our own airport. And you know already that this airport we are talking about is not a new business. It's not something that we will begin to calculate or begin to show to you or explain to you how an airport business will operate or what it means to own an airport. No, it is a service. It is a business that is already in existence. That is why we have companies that are into the aviation business. Examples are Air Peace, Airwick, Emirates, ValueJet, name them. All of these are examples of aviation business. Now, the next one, we have the e-taxi, we have the e-commerce, the logistics, and the hospitality. Now, let's quickly look at the e-taxi or e-hailing. The e-taxi or e-hailing. Now, what is that? This is the second aspect of the mobility we are talking about. That is the road transport. The road transport. And are there companies that are already rendering that service? Yes, we have the like of Uber. We have Bolt. We have InDrive. We have Cabman. We have Waymo. We have Enviable Transport. All of these are examples of the e-taxi or e-hailing platform. E-hailing business. It is not new. We are building this. We are owning this together. Now, the next one, which is the e-commerce. Commerce, which simply means buying and selling. Buying and selling. Now, we are going to own our own platform. This buying and selling, we will bring it to the online space. The online space whereby with your mobile phone, you can purchase, you can buy whatever you want to buy. Are there companies that are into this business, this line of business? Yes, we have Jumia, we have Amazon, we have GG, we have a whole lot of them, Konga out there. These are platforms that are operating already in the e-commerce space. And do you know that by the time you purchase anything online, you have another challenge to solve? And what is the challenge? How do you get those things bought to the rightful location, to your location, or to wherever you want to send it to? That is where the fourth service comes in play, which is the logistics platform. Both locally and internationally, SWIFTtrip will operate. Mind you, what we are building is not a local business, but rather a global business. A global business. That is why we say we are lucky today that we are part of a business like this. Examples of logistic platform. We have God is Good Logistics, we have DHL, we have the UPS, and a whole lot out there. Some persons are even using bicycle, as far as bicycle to what? For this logistic platform. You can see what we are doing is not new. What we are doing is not new. Then we will move to the fifth one, which is the hospitality hotel. SWIFTtrip Hotel, Swift Homes. Swift Homes. Today we are happy as shareholders of SWIFTtrip because we have something that is ongoing. We've secured plots of land close to ₦1 billion, and we want to erect a structure that is second to none. We will be erecting 20-story building there. The hospitality we are talking about, this one you're seeing that is so beautiful here, it's not up to 20, but then we will be erecting 20-story building. It started like play. It seems like it's not possible. You joined and say, oh, let me just put my money. If it works, it works. If it does not work, then fine. But today, we can probably say, yes, I'm happy. You're happy to be part of this business. You are part of those that will own a 20-story building. And this is just the beginning. Because in every state, we will own our buildings there. In every state. You alone wouldn't have been able to do that, but because you're coming together now, we can gladly say that we own a 20-story building hospitality platform. That as a shareholder of this business, as they are patronizing the company, you are earning. You're coming to be an owner of an airport, e-taxi, e-commerce, logistic, and hospitality business. 5-in-1 services, 5 alive services. Amazing. This is not something you should miss out on. Let us come together and build this. And tomorrow, we will reap from what we've sown. And the next question is, has SWIFTtrip gone live, as we have on the screen? Have we launched the business? Now we say SWIFTtrip has not gone live. We are currently at the vision phase. I know this will be one of the questions that is in the heart of those that are joining us for the very first time. Have we launched the business? No. We are still at the vision phase, at the development phase, and that is why we are calling out for you, calling out for everyone, wherever you are, in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Let us come together. Distance is not a barrier, and it can never be a barrier. Let us come together and build this. Let us come together and change the narratives. Let us come together and own this thing we are talking about. We are the vision phase, calling out for like minds, calling out for you, calling out for everybody to join us. Let us develop and build this business. Let us build this business. Now that it's still at the vision phase, now that the opportunity is still there, because by the time we launch this business, then the opportunity is no more, believe me. By the time the business is launched, by the time we've gone live, the opportunity is gone. In as much as we will still be selling our shares at a higher price, but then the opportunity is gone. Why would you want to buy it at a higher price when you can buy it now at a much cheaper rate? Do not miss SWIFTtrip Profit Share. This is for everybody. That is why I say it's an opportunity for you. It's for everybody. So are you a student? Are you a worker? Are you a market woman? Are you a teacher? Are you a civil servant? It is for you. Let us come together and build this business, okay? Now, how much will it cost me? How much will it cost you to own your share in SWIFTtrip, or to be an owner, a co-owner in this business we are talking about? What's the price? What's the cost? Now, with as little as $180, $180, you can be an owner of these 5 services we've just made mention of: aviation, e-taxi, e-commerce, logistics, and hospitality business. With as little as $180 rather, you can co-own this business, and you are considered as the node holder. That's the node slot, goes for $180. And from that $180, $100 is the project fee, while $80 is what we use for, or what we will use for, advertisement. What we are using for advertisement or campaign fee. Okay, so that is that. And by the time you've paid your $180, you get what we call ownership percentage. That is what you own, ownership percentage. And what is the ownership percentage, which is constant? 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. It is constant. Okay, so it does not change. Even if the subscription fee changes, the ownership percentage does not change. We are on promo now. We're on promo now. That is why it's selling for $180. The actual price is $200 million. So as things are beginning to take shape, the price will keep increasing. It will increase until it gets to the actual price, which is $200 million or 500 million naira. Okay, so let us build this business now. Let us build this business now. Let us come in now that it is a bit cheap. That is very cheap, not even a bit cheap, that it is very, very cheap. Okay, now since we've not gone live, you will want to ask, when will SWIFTtrip go live? All of these are in the slide. When are we going to launch the business? Let's look at it. Let's look at what we have on the slide. We say SWIFTtrip profit share is 5% in volume, and business launch is at the sales of 3% share volume. It's as simple as that. The company has 5% that is presenting to us, and we are also saying, as a company, we are saying that at the sales of 3% of this 5%, we will launch the business. And how many units will be consumed? How many units will be consumed to get that 3%? 2.4 million units. How is the question? How do we get to 2.4 million units? Now let's look at it. Minimum sales to minimum volume of shares to sell is 3%, right? Just like I explained earlier on. Now, as a shareholder who paid $180, what's your ownership percentage? 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. We simply do, we bring down 3 and bring down the ownership percent. Then we do 3 divided by your ownership percentage. That's 0.0 in 5 places, 125. Do not add the percentage sign. Whatever, what is it going to give you? 2,400,000 node units. Before now, we used to say it is 1 man to 1 unit. But then, because of the promo we are in this month of July, in support to our 20-story building, we say, as a shareholder, I will come again. As a shareholder, you can own up to 10 units. Plus the extra, plus the first unit you got as 11. Maximum of what? 10 units. Before now, we used to say 1 man to 1 unit. Now, I can decide to buy 4 units. I can decide to buy 5 units. I can decide to buy 4 more units. 2 more units, 3, 4. The maximum is 10. So we are not saying that you must buy the 10. If you have money for 2, for 3, for 1, extra 1, for extra 2, extra 3, extra 4, extra 4, you can purchase. But you cannot own more than 10 units. And this promo lasts from now till the end of July. So we are giving this promo to just encourage the early birds and also to support our 20-story building that is ongoing. And after July 31st, that offer is closed. And the good thing is that you won't be getting it at the rate of $180. Rather, you'll be getting it at the rate of $150. Okay, so we removed what is it called, some dollars for you. Okay, $30 was removed for you. So capitalize on this opportunity you have from now till the end of this month. So instead of saying 1 subscriber to 1 unit, right now we will say 2.4 million node units. Okay, thank you very much. I believe that's well understood. Now the next slide shows us the place we will be launching this business. Now the initial launch of business before we start spreading our tentacles in all parts of the world is in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom. These will be our first 2 countries of launch before we start spreading globally. Already we have shareholders, we have ambassadors of SWIFTtrip in Germany, in the US, in Italy, in France, and what have you, in UK. Okay, so you can see that they're already making it, they will make it very easy for us there. So do not miss SWIFTtrip. Now, what are our certifications? We have the CAC certificate, we have the EFCC certificate, we have the United Kingdom certificate. These are our numbers, our registration number. You can see the CAC certificate, you can see the EFCC certificate, and you can also see the United Kingdom certificate. You can also go do your findings there to confirm if truly we are registered in England and Wales. Okay, so that is that. Now quickly want to look at what makes SWIFTtrip stand out from other companies. What is that uniqueness in SWIFTtrip? What is that thing that will make Mr. A want to patronize SWIFTtrip and not patronize the other company that is rendering the same service as we? Okay, so that's what we are looking at now. What makes SWIFTtrip stand out? And as a shareholder of SWIFTtrip, we are all aware of this, but a non-shareholder, someone who's just joining us for the very first time, might not be aware of this. What we call the PYC. Why? Because we are the first company that is introducing the PYC. What does it stand for? Pay your customers. Have you heard of it before? No. We are the first company. First of its kind. Will a passenger or will a customer patronize the company and the customer gets paid for that patronage made? It has never happened. Thank you for patronizing us. Take this for that patronage. We are putting these customers on payroll, and it does not matter how many times they patronize the company, they just keep earning from the patronage. They just keep earning from the patronage. Because we've realized that these customers are very, very, very important. So we shouldn't neglect them. The same way we are treating our workers, that's the same way we should treat the customers. Even we should treat them with more respect. We should add more value to them. That is why we are appreciating them. Not with words of mouth, but we are appreciating their account. Thank you for patronizing us, and we are dropping something in their account. So they are on payroll for life, so long they keep patronizing the company. Anytime they patronize the company, they simply earn from that patronage. Now, let's look at how this PYC will play out. How will a passenger book a ride and earn from that ride? Let's look at it now. We want to quickly assume a transaction happened. We want to assume a trip was performed. And knowing fully well that the distance or the price of trip will simply depend on the distance covered. It simply tells us that the price will not be static. All trip will not cost the same, but rather depending on the distance covered, that's what they will be charged for. Now, in this analysis, let us assume the transaction that took place cost 10,000 Nigerian naira. Okay, 10,000 naira. Now let's look at this. That 10,000 naira that the passenger paid, the company sees it as 100%. The company sees it as 100%. It does not matter how much the person is paying. Whatever amount the customer will be paying, the company sees it as 100%, either by cash or transfer. And these customers will call them what? Profit generators. They are generating profit for us. Okay, so that's why we call them profit generators. Now, like I say, that 10,000 naira cost is seen as 100%. Now let us share this 100%. 2% of that money paid goes to the profit generator. That is, in this phase now, it is the passenger. 2% goes to the passenger who booked that ride. That is the PYC we are talking about. This money that goes to the passenger is not bonus. It is the PYC that goes to the passenger who booked that ride. Now, let's move ahead. 10% goes to the platform provider, which is SWIFTtrip, the company. What is it used for? It is used for global expansion. Remember earlier on when I defined SWIFTtrip, I defined SWIFTtrip as a mobility and commerce service providing platform. It simply tells us that we are not the service provider, but rather we are the platform provider. Okay, so 10% goes to the company for global expansion. Now 5% goes to all shareholders of SWIFTtrip. All shareholders of SWIFTtrip will share 5% according to your ownership percentage. Remember, you as a node holder, you own 0.005 places 125%, right? So everybody will earn according to their ownership percentage. Remember, from 3%, 2.4 million persons or units are already earning. Then we have 2% left, whereby others that will join after we must have launched the business, probably when it's selling for 200 million or 500 million, they will also own their ownership percent, which is still 0.05 places 125%. So the remaining 2% will be consumed by those that will join the business after launch. So the difference between you and them is that you got it at a cheaper rate, while they will be getting it at a very expensive rate, because they will be seeing it. They will be seeing our aircraft, they will be seeing the hospitalities, they will be seeing all of these things you are talking about. So they wouldn't have to doubt. They wouldn't want to say, okay, will it work? Is it possible? Can this one work? No, they are seeing it already. So that's why they will be paying for that. They will be paying higher than what you paid to secure your shares in SWIFTtrip. Now 5 plus 10%, that is 15%, plus 2%, that is 17%. Now 80% goes to the service provider. And who is the service provider in this analysis? It is the driver. The driver is the service provider, and this person is getting the bigger share because he will have to face the road hazard, he will have to maintain his car, he will have to fuel his car, and if the car breaks down, of course he will have to fix it. So that is why this person is getting the lion percentage of the shares. Remember, you as a shareholder, you might be saying, this person is earning more than me. No, this person is not earning more than you, because he is earning from his own efforts, while you are earning from every transaction that happens globally. Okay, so for this person to earn 80%, it will have to be the one to perform the transaction. It will have to be the one to render the service, rather. Okay, so 80% plus 17%, that is 97%. Then 3% is shared to the referral chain of both the driver and the customer. Okay, and how is it shared? The first generation of the passenger who booked the ride gets 1%. The second generation gets 0.3%. Third and fourth generation gets 0.1% respectively. Now, to the customer's driver referral chain, 1% goes to the first generation, 0.3% goes to the second generation, 0.1% goes to the third generation, and another 0.1% goes to the fourth generation. If you sum it up together, you'll be having 1.5 from the customer's passenger referral and another 1.5 from the customer's driver referral. Now 1.5 plus 1.5, that is 3%, plus the 97% that was shared earlier on. That is a total of 100%. So you can see how this 100% has been shared to every person. How this percent, now the 100% has been shared. And lest you forget, the same PYC applies to all of the services we'll be rendering, but now in the future, okay? The aviation, the e-commerce, the logistics, and the hospitality, okay? The hospitality. So you just keep earning from all of our services. All right, so quickly want to look at who is the brain behind SWIFTtrip. All of these beautiful things that has been said, all of these exciting things that has been said, who is the brain behind this business? Okay, let's look at it. Who is the brain behind SWIFTtrip? Now you can see the young, energetic man in person of Honorable Richard Nnadi, a very handsome and beautiful man. Thank you very much for all you do for SWIFTtrip. We are so much excited to have you as the CEO of SWIFTtrip. Your wisdom will never run dry. In the name of Jesus, that we pray that everything that is needed to make this vision come to reality is bestowed upon you. In the name of Jesus Christ, we will continue to soar higher and higher together. As shareholders of SWIFTtrip, we will all soar together higher and higher with the CEO, and we are so much appreciative of all his efforts. Thank you very much, sir. A very passionate man and also a lionic man from Nigeria. He's not an Afcast, he's in Nigeria. Both parents Nigeria. Both grandparents are Nigeria. Both great grandparents are Nigeria. So he's a full Nigerian. Honorable Richard Nnadi, he is the honorable of SWIFTtrip. He is also from Enugu State. So the people of Enugu, you're blessed to have a man like Honorable Richard Nnadi. And if you care to know the name of his village, Udi to be precise. So if you know Enugu very well, you should know Udi. All right, thank you very much, sir, for all you do for SWIFTtrip. So we'll quickly move to the next slide, which shows us, or which says, how are you going to profit as a subscriber to SWIFTtrip? How you profit as a co-owner of this business? How are you going to profit as a shareholder of SWIFTtrip? If you pay your $180 and we'll launch the business, transaction happen, how are you going to earn? That is what we want to quickly show to you. Now we're looking at it, or saying like this, how you earn in the future. Why? Because in the future, that is when you will earn. Right now, we haven't launched the business, okay? But though there is still a means you can earn now, but we will show that to you we'll show that to you later on, okay? So we'll show to you how you earn first of all in the future before we show to you how you earn in the now. Now let's quickly look at how you earn in the future. With this, we want to look at the e-taxi per trip profit evaluation. Now what I was saying in this, we are looking at if a trip happened, if one trip happened in Nigeria, as a shareholder of SWIFTtrip who came in with $180, owning 0.085 places 125%, what will be your profit from that one trip that took place in Nigeria? Or if you're in the United States and you're a shareholder of SWIFTtrip and you want to know how much you will earn if a trip happened and that trip costs $10, what will be your profit from that one trip that took place? That is what I want to quickly look at now. So that is why you're seeing two figures, $10 and 8,000 naira. Now the 8,000 naira, we're working with those of us that are in Nigeria, and the $10 we're working with those of us that are in the United States. Of course, you understand your legal tender more than the foreign one, okay? So yes, if they are in the United States, naira is a foreign currency, right? So we serve your foreign. But now, since it's a Nigerian that is talking, and talking in Nigeria, we will work locally. And why those of us that are in the United States, we'll be working with the dollar for them so they can understand it better. Now, we want to assume that a trip costs 8,000 naira in Nigeria, like I said earlier on. You simply do the cost of the trip multiplied by your ownership percentage. The cost of the trip. Mind you, trip will be very flexible, but we just want to use this figure, 8,000 naira. Now, 8,000 naira times 0.0 in 5 places 125%. If you do that, what you will get is 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo. That is what you will get. That will be your profit from that trip that took place, that one trip that took place. Now, for the dollar, you do the same thing, 10 multiplied by 0.0 in 5 places 125%. You will get 0.0 in 6 places 125 cents. That is your profit from that transaction that took place. Mind you, in SWIFTtrip, we are not saying because you're a shareholder you will just keep earning whether there is transaction or no transaction. No, you only earn once there is transaction, once there is patronage, because what we are doing is business. What we are doing is business. Okay? Just like you have your shop, you're working. If people come and patronize you, of course you will make money. But if nobody patronizes you, you won't make a dime. That is what you are saying here. If one trip happened and this trip costs this is what you will earn. If another trip happened, you will earn according to your ownership percentage from every transaction that happens. Now, we don't need to be the one to multiply this to say, okay, this one gets this one, this one gets this one. No. The system will do that. The system will do that. AI will take care of that. Now, you might be looking at this and you're saying that this is very small. What do you want to do with 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo? If you're in Nigeria, you will know how useful this is. This 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo, you will now use for it is. And also if you're in the United States, 0.0 in 6 places 125 cents. Now, it might not make sense to you that the transaction happened and you are getting 0.0 in 6 places 125 cents or 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo. But then we say you should calm your nerves, because we are going to open your eyes. We are going to show to you what you have not seen yet. And what is that? The power of volume. The power that is in volume. Remember, what we are doing is not something that is limited to only a particular country or or continent. No, it is a global business. So by the time this thing begins to turn over, you will see that it is not small. By the time this thing begins to happen in volume, you will see that this 0.0 in 3 places or 0.0 in 6 places 125 kobo is massive. A case study of a very popular politician in Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, which I believe every one of us know. He is a shareholder in MTN. Do you know that whenever we recharge our mobile phone, whenever we subscribe our data, he earns according to his percentage from MTN. From MTN. And it does not matter how many times we recharge a day. Just imagine this time around that call card does not last, data does not last. The tariff is now very high. You recharge 1,000 naira, you make 1 or 2 calls, it's gone. If you go back again and recharge that same day, it will still earn. It does not matter if you've recharged for today before. It's not earning from one time recharging for the day. No, it's earning from every transaction performed. And also looking at it, it is not all African that makes use of MTN. But then, do you know how much it's making from MTN daily? Google has it that it makes 45 million naira every single day, at least 45 million naira every single day for a business that is not global. How much more a global business? How much more a global business? Is there any country today that do not have or do not need transportation or do not need buying and selling. No. That is why what we are building is something that once people see, they will be amazed. It's something that by the time it begins to happen, you as a shareholder, you will be amazed. You will be proud of the person you've become. You'll be proud that your foresight paid off. And when you tell the story, you will tell the story with every passion, every strength in you, every alacrity. Don't joke with a system. Today, we are telling you, we are advising you to identify yourself with a system that will pay you for life. A system that do not need your effort before you earn. A system that gives you the privilege to employ the entire citizen of a nation and put them on payroll. They work for you and you are earning. That is the system we are talking about. And what is the system? SWIFTtrip. Quickly, we will be looking at how cents and kobo can make us millionaires, can make us billionaires, can make us trillionaires in dollars. You see this cents and kobo I've shown to you? 0.0 in 6 places 125 cents, or 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo. We will look at how it can become millions, billions, and trillions of dollars. Now let us quickly move to 5 years from now, where we could be in 5 years after this business must have been in operation. What do I mean? We are assuming SWIFTtrip is in operation, and or SWIFTtrip has been in operation for 5 years, and then you want to know how much you must have made from this business. And we'll be doing the calculation. That's why we want to work with a worst case scenario here. We don't want to put anybody on frenzy, okay? Let us work with a worst case scenario where we could be in 5 years. 5 years, we are looking at performing. If trip did not go as we planned, we are looking at performing at least 50 trillion trips worldwide, not only in Nigeria, not only in China, not only in Afghanistan. We are talking about globally, all parts of the world that we've launched a business. That SWIFTtrip trip not go as planned. All the trips, if we add them together, both the one in Nigeria and other nations, it will give us 50 trillion trip, which it's not possible. We will outperform that. Okay, but we are calculating with the worst case scenario, and then we want to say that all these 50 trillion trips that took place all over the world cost 8,000 naira or $10. The same figure we use in calculating per trip that gave us 0.0 in 6 places 125 cents or 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo, right, as per day profit, or per trip rather profit. Okay, now it's not possible for all the trip to cost 8,000 naira or $10, right? But because we are calculating, let us just work with that. Let us just work with that so we can get an accurate figure. Okay, now how do we know how much you must have made from this business? It's very simple. We do, since we are saying all the trip cost $10 or 8,000 naira, and we did that earlier and it gave us 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo. You simply do